Daily drama, real tea, no filters, just mic drop daily. Don't forget to subscribe.
Doing my name, and you know what that means? You going up against somebody who got nothing to lose and everything to gain.
I told you can't trust me. Now Puffy done killed Tupac, man.
Tell Curtis I ain't done yet. That was the chilling message sent to 50 Cent just hours after Diddy walked out not guilty on that RICO charge that could have had him locked up for life. And this ain't some rumor floating around. Insiders say that message didn't come from a lawyer or PR rep, it came straight from Diddy himself. Now, if you've been paying attention, you know 50's been on Diddy's neck for years, clowning him all over social media. One of his savage posts even had a pic of Diddy riding a bike with the caption, "You know there ain't no seat on that bike, right?" Wild. So why is Diddy allegedly sliding into 50's DMs from a burner account now? It all comes down to that upcoming documentary. Did he do it? Yeah, that one. The project 50 is cooking up is about to dig even deeper than the trial did, and even though Diddy dodged that life sentence, the documentary is far from canceled. In fact, 50 already promised it's going to blow the lid off way more than what the court allowed. And that's exactly why Diddy might be panicking, because if you really followed the case, you know stuff got sketchy fast. The original prosecutor? Randomly pulled and replaced with Maureen Comey. Yes, that Maureen Comey. The same one people accuse of helping bury the Epstein case. Coincidence? Doesn't feel like one. Then there's Christina Coram, Diddy's alleged right-hand woman. Multiple witnesses called her a co-conspirator. And guess what? The feds just ignored it. No charges, no questioning, no nothing. And now she's missing in action? Please! But the worst part, a ton of details from the trial got swept under the rug by mainstream media. Like someone wanted to make this disappear quietly. But 50 Cent? He's not letting that happen. He's promising to air everything out. So now imagine this, Diddy freshly cleared of the biggest charge out in the open and 50 Cent sitting on receipts. Real ones. With cameras rolling, that message, "Tell Curtis I ain't done yet," wasn't just ego, it was a threat, a shot across the bow, and knowing Diddy's power and influence, this could get ugly. He could come after 50's businesses, mess with his deals, pull strings with powerful allies, or worse, way worse. Because if that doc hits the streets with real dirt, Diddy's empire might really start crumbling, and he's not going to let that happen without a fight. One of the wildest testimonies came from Capricorn Clark, a former assistant to Diddy and marketing boss for Sean John. And what she dropped in court? Straight up jaw-dropping. She claimed that Diddy didn't just beef with 50 Cent, he actually talked about taking him out. Capricorn said she was with Diddy and their shared manager Chris Lighty during a press run at MTV. 50 was around too, and Diddy wasn't feeling the vibe. In the elevator, out of nowhere, Diddy blurted, "I don't like the back and forth, I like guns." Say what? This wasn't no playful jab, this was straight menace. And that burner account? Yeah, the same one that sent the "Tell Curtis I ain't done yet" message. It had been dead silent for months. Then boom, hours after the not guilty verdict on the RICO charge, it pops up again with that single eerie sentence. That timing ain't random, and insiders close to 50 are saying this wasn't the first time he's been threatened either. In fact, 50 already spoke out about this whole situation back in May. Right after hearing that Diddy might have plotted to get rid of him, he went straight to trolling the drama with a post that had the internet howling. He dropped an AI-generated image of himself looking shook, captioned, "Oh my goodness, itty-bitty Diddy wants me dead, I gotta lay low, might hide out at the playoff game tonight. LOL Classic 50, always flipping fear into a punchline." But don't get it twisted, this isn't just some petty rap feud. Capricorn swore under oath that Diddy once told a security guard he didn't like nonsense or people, but that he liked guns. And that statement was allegedly in direct reference to his issue with 50. Not just smoke, this was fire. Now back in May, folks thought Diddy was done for. The streets were talking like he was gonna end up with a life sentence. But plot twist, the jury cleared him on 3 charges and found him guilty on just 2, transporting for prostitution involving Cassie and another unnamed woman. But that RICO conspiracy charge, the one that could have buried him, he beat it. Just like that. So now you've got a man who just dodged serious time, possibly feeling invincible, and dropping cryptic warnings like, "I ain't done yet." Combine that with years of beef, alleged threats, and a whole documentary in the works, things are looking way too real. And let's be honest, if 50's laughing now, it might just be the calm before the storm. So what does this really mean for Diddy? Could he actually dodge prison time? And is that why he's suddenly bold enough to start throwing threats at 50 Cent like it's nothing? Here's the deal. Diddy and his legal team fully believed he'd walk out the same day that verdict dropped. But that didn't happen. According to News Nation, Judge Arun Subramanian shut that all the way down, denied him bail on the spot, and ruled that Diddy is too dangerous to be roaming free right now. Yeah, they called him a full-blown threat. Now his sentencing is locked in for October 3rd, and until then, he's staying behind bars. No early release, no ankle monitor, nothing. Just cold, hard jail. And in terms of what he's actually facing, People magazine says the 2 charges he got convicted on each carry a maximum of 10 years. That's 20 years total if the judge decides to max him out. But let's be real. His lawyers are definitely going to appeal both the conviction and the sentence as soon as it drops. So whether he actually ends up doing the full bid is still up in the air. But here's the wild part. He hasn't even been sentenced yet, and he's already out here sending revenge threats like he's certain he's getting out. That's the part that's got folks shook. What does Diddy know that we don't? And why is 50 Cent target number 1? Well, let's not forget, 50's been clowning Diddy long before any lawsuits. Before Cassie even stepped forward, 50 was out here dragging Diddy in interviews, online, and even on stage. He's been poking the bear for over a decade, ever since the early 2000s. But the real beef, it kicked off when 50 started publicly questioning Diddy's sexuality. A bold move that made headlines everywhere. That right there, that lit the match. And Diddy's never forgotten it. He might have held back for years. But now, with 50 producing that upcoming documentary, Diddy Do It, the pressure's on. The stakes are way higher. That doc could wreck whatever's left of Diddy's legacy, and he knows it. That's why 50 isn't just being trolled, he's being targeted. So why is Diddy allegedly so pressed about 50 Cent lately? Because 50 just flipped the script on his docu-series, and now he's coming for the people behind Diddy. This ain't just about exposing wild parties anymore. Nah, 50 told Variety that the documentary is turning into a deep-dive narrative that spans decades, not just clips and sound bites. He's peeling back layers. At first, Diddy Do It was mainly centered around exposing Diddy's so-called freak-off parties. You know, the ones packed with celebs, wild setups, and all kinds of strange behavior. But now that Diddy skated past that RICO charge, 50's going darker, and it's already getting dangerous. Just recently, a leaked clip, allegedly from 50's doc, hit the net. It looks like something straight out of Eyes Wide Shut. We're talking masks, antlers, candlelit rituals, the whole eerie setup, supposedly filmed at Diddy's own mansion. And if that footage is real, then 50's about to expose a side of this scandal that the public ain't even ready for. But hold up, it gets even crazier. Sources close to the project say 50's now digging into all the stuff the courts completely ignored. He wants to address the real elephant in the room, those whispers that Diddy might have been working as a government asset and that the trial just a whole staged distraction. Remember when Kanye randomly called Diddy a Fed a few years back? At the time, people laughed it off. But now, 50's team allegedly found something that could give that theory some real weight. One part of the doc that's really about to turn heads, it's focused on Christina Korum. You probably never heard much about her, but she's been called Diddy's mysterious handler, and folks close to the situation say she might have played the same role to Diddy that Ghislaine Maxwell played to Epstein. When Diddy first got arrested, the media hinted that Christina Korum could have been the key to everything. They said she was his right-hand woman, the one who knew where all the bodies were buried. But suddenly, she vanished. And now 50's digging into why. For years, there's been buzz about one woman quietly sitting at the heart of Diddy's empire. And now, that spotlight's finally catching up to her. Her name is Christina Korum, and some folks are saying she could be the missing key in this whole case. Back in November, just after Diddy settled with Cassie, he posted a photo on Facebook with Christina by his side in Florida. In the caption, he called her Christina, aka KK, the one who keeps everything in my life and business running. That's not just an assistant, that's a power player. But here's where it gets wild. In a separate lawsuit, Music producer Rodney Lil Rod Jones used that same photo and called her the Ghislaine Maxwell to Sean Combs' Jeffrey Epstein. Yeah, he said that. She was referenced 64 times in his lawsuit alone, but when the actual trial came around, Christina's name was barely mentioned, like she vanished into thin air. Cassie did name-drop her, though. She testified that Christina kept daily tabs on her, talking to her about everything from schedules to Diddy's moods and how to deal with him each day. "I talked to KK about a lot," Cassie said. "She knew a lot about my personal things." That doesn't sound like a random assistant. That sounds like someone deep in the mix. Another woman, only identified as Jane, even brought receipts. She showed the court a text from Christina encouraging her to fly commercial with illegal substances. Christina allegedly told her, "It's fine, like I do it all the time, like that's not a rumor, that's a text." So the big question is, why wasn't Christina called to the stand? CNN reported that prosecutors originally listed her as a co-conspirator. But then, they just stopped mentioning her. Poof, nothing. Which is crazy because if she really was Diddy's right hand, bringing her in could have helped prove the racketeering charges, but instead she got swept under the rug. This is exactly why 50 Cent is going after this story in his doc. Fans are already buzzing that Christina's shady disappearance is the reason prosecutors fumbled the case. And others are straight up calling the whole trial a cover-up to protect the bigger players in the game. And one user on X even said, "People think the Diddy saga is over, but it's not." And after everything coming to light, they might just be right. Now this is where things take a serious turn, because folks online are saying this whole trial might have been part of a deep state cover-up. And the biggest red flag? The fact that Christina Coram, a key player in Diddy's circle, was never called to testify. One user summed it up perfectly. Ask yourself why KK wasn't put on the stand. Because a certain Comey was involved. There will be more to this. So who's this Comey they're talking about? That would be Maureen Comey, the lead prosecutor who mysteriously stepped in to replace Damian Williams, the original attorney overseeing the case. And guess what? Williams suddenly resigned on November 25th, 2024, just weeks after Diddy was arrested. And people aren't buying the timing. Williams was in charge from day one. Why dip out right before trial? Especially when Comey's last big case was, you guessed it, the Epstein and Ghislaine Maxwell trial. So now the rumors are spiraling. Was this all intentional? Did someone pull strings to make sure the truth never fully came out? Because if you connect the dots, there's a theory circulating that Diddy might have been more than just a celebrity caught up in scandals. People are saying he was running a full-blown blackmail archive, collecting dirt, videos, texts, receipts on media giants, government officials, and corporate powerhouses. Remember when the feds raided Diddy's homes? They said they seized a mountain of tapes. But since then, not a single name has been released. No leaks, no updates, nothing. That silence is loud. It's got folks wondering if Diddy was actually working as a protected intelligence asset, just like some believe Jeffrey Epstein was. In fact, former U.S. Attorney Brett Tolman recently said, Diddy and Epstein ran nearly identical blackmail operations. Let that sink in. Tolman even added that rumors have long floated around about both men working with government agencies, and that he wouldn't be surprised if CIA or FBI ops were involved in some way. That's decades of operations, hidden in plain sight. So what if Diddy was never the end game? What if he was just the middleman, collecting dirt and passing it up the chain? It's looking less like a celebrity scandal and more like a covert operation. You look at what went down with Epstein, and it really starts to make sense why folks think something way bigger is going on here. Even former U.S. Attorney Brett Tolman said he was stunned by the deal Epstein got years ago, offered by Alex Acosta, the U.S. Attorney in Florida at the time. According to Tolman, the only reason someone like Epstein would get that kind of sweetheart deal is if he had serious dirt on some powerful people. That type of deal doesn't get made unless there are very high-level names involved, names that needed to stay protected. And now, with 50 Cent digging into similar claims about Diddy, it's no wonder he's getting threats. Because if this documentary really uncovers the level of blackmail, influence, and protection going on behind the scenes, it could blow the whole system open. This ain't just a music beef anymore. This is tapping into the kind of secrets that don't get exposed without consequences. But 50, he's not backing down. After fans flooded his Instagram warning him to be careful and saying Diddy might come for him, 50 fired back immediately. He clapped back, calling Diddy gay Teflon Don, and told the haters, "Get the F off my page talking like I'm supposed to be scared of him." That's classic 50. Bold, unbothered, and doubling down. But here's the thing, that while 50 might say he's not scared the people he's poking at, they don't just play dirty, they own the whole game. They've got power, connections, and memory like elephants. They don't forget, and when you start lifting the curtain on billion-dollar secrets and protected networks, that's when the danger really starts. So if this documentary actually drops with real receipts, it could be explosive. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and share this video, because if what 50 Cent is exposing is real, this is just the beginning.